Somehow it is already February, and that means it's time for another Artsnacks unboxing video. So this is the February 2020 box, and sadly I did have an idea of what was in this one because Artsnacks did spoil that there were going to be some Faber Castell watercolor markers within this box. I didn't know how many, I didn't know what color, I didn't really know much about them, but they did tease that there were going to be some watercolor markers in this box, so I was aware that that was something that's in this box. I didn't mean to stumble upon that information. I think they posted it to their Facebook page and then I saw it on my feed, so that was spoiled for me. I understand a certain aspect as to why Artsnacks does that, but at the same time, it's sad when you get the box and you want it to be a surprise. But first thing I pulled out was the sticker, which is really cute this month, and then the markers that they did end up sending were two of these Faber Castell Albrecht Durer watercolor markers. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but one side is a brush end and the other side is a bullet nib. I actually really enjoyed the color selection of these markers I got. I got a very yellow color as well as a dark gray, so that was a nice color combination in my opinion. Next up was the Kuretake Zig Clean Color Dot Double-Ended Marker, and this really reminded me of these dot markers that I had in preschool or kindergarten where it was just a flat dot on the end, so that's what I thought of this when I saw it. And then next up we also got a brush. This is a Princeton Glacier series brush. It is a round size too. It looks pretty cool because it has the clear body. And then last but not least, we got a Vireco Artgraph water-soluble graphite pencil, which to me is just another graphite pencil. It's nice that it's water-soluble because we have the watercolor markers going along with it, but that is everything that is in this box. So right off the bat, it wasn't an exciting variety of supplies necessarily, but I was excited to see how these markers performed, especially because I was very interested because I don't know, off the top of my head, I don't think I've ever really worked with watercolor markers before. I'm sure I've gotten some in Artsnacks, but I was curious to see how these ones performed because they are new products. So I will say that I am doing these swatches in the Arteza watercolor sketchbook. I've been using this sketchbook as my main sketchbook since I finished my ELO, and it performs very strangely. I'm sure I'll go more into that when I do a sketchbook tour of the sketchbook and I can finally put forth my final opinions on this sketchbook, because I do think it's a good sketchbook and I do have a review of it on my channel from Arteza, but it's very different. And I initially was really disappointed in the Faber Castell watercolor pens because they did not reactivate very well with water. It was a little bit of pigment coming off of the ink that you put down, but considering they're supposed to be watercolor markers, I expected them to reactivate a lot quicker and just a lot easier. So from that standpoint, I was like, oh, well, these are kind of a bummer. But I watched my friend Sheeny, her Artsnacks unboxing video, and she swatched them on different paper, and they performed completely differently. So I did end up going ahead and swatching them on different paper in a separate section that I did not record, but this is not how these supplies necessarily perform. I did end up swatching them all again on different paper, so that was kind of their true colors, which was much better than they performed on this paper. So for my actual drawings that I ended up doing for my final drawings, I did decide to do those on separate paper. Aslan also decided he wanted to be a big part of this video, so he jumped onto my desk and laid down on my sketchbook, which he does quite a lot actually. He's very silly because he'll jump onto my desk or whatever I'm working on, and he likes to sit on, whether it be my sketchbook, my iPad. He does it to my boyfriend too. He'll just sit on whatever we're working on. I think it's because he wants our attention, and it's really sweet and I appreciate it, but oh my goodness. So I decided to play with him a little bit. You can kind of see he's going after my pencil. He does this a lot though, because any kind of art supplies or any kind of pencils or pens he really enjoys playing with. So if you have a mechanical pencil, he goes absolutely nuts. He just wants to smack them around. And it is really cute, but it can be obnoxious. But he's very appreciated because he's adorable, and I'm happy to share footage of him because he's super cute, and he has a very festive Valentine's bow on right now. And Valentine's is his adoption anniversary. This will be the 3rd year that I've had him, which is crazy. So that's really exciting. There's some footage of my cat because I feel like he hasn't been showing up as much as he normally does in my videos, so that was the cat intermission, and now we can go back to the artwork. So initially I decided to just sketch some stuff in my sketchbook. I haven't been drawing as much as I'd like to recently. I feel like more often than not, I feel like I'm not drawing as much as I want to, but especially recently, I think it had been probably honestly 3 to 5 days since I had last drawn when I started working on this Artsnacks unboxing, so I was a little rusty to say the least, so I just decided to sketch some stuff in my sketchbook. I wasn't worrying about it turning out nice or anything. I was just kind of going for it. I really did enjoy sketching with the Kuretake dot pen. On one side it's like a 0.5 nib, and I really enjoyed sketching with that. That was a lot of fun. The way it puts out ink kind of reminds me of a ballpoint pen. I used to sketch in that same color of ballpoint pen like a good portion of my high school art class. That's just the pen that I decided to sketch in because I had a phase, especially when I was in high school, where I really liked sketching not serious stuff in pen. So that's what that reminded me of. Also, here are the swatches that I redid on different paper. Honestly, I don't know what kind of paper this is. I want to say it's Canson XL Mixed Media, but I have a lot of like cut up watercolor paper sheets that I just have sitting in my desk. So I don't really know what that paper is, but it's definitely not the Arteza paper, and it performed so much better. The watercolor markers, like I said before, they just melted and blended really nicely with water. So after doing those swatches, I was much more excited to work with these supplies. And although I do really like the color combination that I ended up getting, I wasn't super inspired by it, and I didn't really have anything in particular in mind that I wanted to paint, so I actually decided to do a couple of different drawings for this one. I obviously have the stuff that I did in my sketchbook, and then I don't draw a whole lot of animals in the point in time I'm at right now, so I really wanted to do something different, so I decided to draw a tiger. I decided to look at pictures on Pinterest for a reference picture because Pinterest is really nice for reference pictures, especially with animals. It has a better selection than Google does, even though it's like ripped off of other places, but Pinterest tends to have a nice selection versus it's like the same stock photos over and over again. So I found this picture of, I don't know if they're called albino tigers, but it was mainly white and had a little bit of orange accents here and there versus having like orange as the main color with black and white accents. So that's what I ended up doing. I didn't actually reference that picture when I went ahead and colored it. I only used the reference picture for sketching, and then when it came to coloring, I just kind of did what I remembered and changed it a lot because there was a lot more white in the reference picture, but I just kind of went for it and I was having fun using the supplies because I did actually really enjoy using the watercolor markers. They were really different, but the way that they reactivated, they just blended so nicely, and they were really enjoyable to work with. The like dark gray color I got especially, it broke down really nicely. It was kind of like a greenish toned gray. I feel like it had like really faint green undertones to it. And I'm sure I could have worked and done like a lot of different things with these color combinations in terms of blending the colors together, but I was just kind of having fun with it, especially since I haven't been drawing a whole lot lately, and that's what I ended up doing. And then the first thing that my mind thought of with this color combination was Naruto, because it's orange and black and that's one of his outfit colors, so I decided to paint a little Naruto alongside with the tiger and what I did in my sketchbook. It was just kind of enjoyable fan art because if you've watched my other videos, you know I've been watching Naruto, and I've been having a lot of fun watching Naruto, and now I'm watching Boruto, and I'm having the time of my life, but when I decide to sit down and draw, most of the time recently what I want to draw is Naruto, so I was really proud of myself for not doing that for the entire video because I could really turn this channel into a Naruto fan art channel for like the next couple months if I really wanted to. It's bad. I feel like the older I get, the more I start to hyperfixate on things when I get into them. Like whenever I start a new series and I really like it, I feel like the hyperfixation is like that much more intense as I've gotten older. I don't know if it's because I'm like, wow, I should have spent my previous like 5-10 years enjoying this and now I have to squeeze it all into like 6 months, but I feel like when I get hooked on something now it's bad, especially since I have money and I can buy stuff. That's bad too. I don't know if you feel the way I do with that, but it's like, man, I want to have like a bunch of Naruto stuff. I recently bought a bunch of art books and that's exciting, but anyways, I'm talking about Naruto more than I intended to. I did also decide to put a sunflower in the background. It's just mainly because like when I was thinking of these colors, I was like, oh, what do these make me think of? Naruto, a sunflower, a tiger, and I decided to just kind of fill up the space in the background behind the character, so I decided to do a sunflower. And then I went ahead and I taped everything into the sketchbook as well, that way it was kind of all together, and since I didn't have any particular attachment to these pieces, I was like, I'm just gonna throw them in my sketchbook. I used washi tape as well as this really nice double-sided, it's like a paper crafting tape, but I did initially get it for paper crafting, but it's really nice because it'll actually make sure the washi tape will hold onto stuff, because washi tape on its own isn't super sticky, so I put this on both sides of the washi tape, the piece of the washi tape touching the sketchbook, and the piece of the washi tape touching the actual like loose sheet of paper, and that way just make sure nothing's going anywhere. And that's what I ended up doing with the February 2020 Artsnacks box. If you guys got this box, let me know in the comments below what colors you got for the supplies. I haven't seen very much of what other color combinations are out there, so let me know what you guys got. I did actually really enjoy working with these supplies. I didn't really use the brush it came with because it was really small and the dot pen was kind of strange of a supply, but the watercolor marker is really nice. I know Artsnacks tends to have a weird variation of supplies in their box. That's just kind of how they go. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.